This is Ndtv. And you're watching Ndtv Hindu.
The eternal culinary quest to find new ways to wine and dine away the time, my very raison d'etre, has brought us today to a little spot in Gandhinagar, Crimson Chakra. So ladies and gents, get ready to paint the town crimson. While film producer and owner Suresh Menon rather modestly states that he had nothing particular in mind when designing the interiors, the result of his nothing particular plan is a particularly striking and eclectic atmosphere. One that looks a bit like the tail end of a garage sale, but a classy garage sale, maybe one on 5th Avenue. Tribal collides with Rajasthani. Step outside and you're greeted by the elements, rustic red tiles and natural greens. A whimsical wee table set amidst a pool of cascading water. And joining me in this eclectic setting is an equally special guest. Now, he's known best for his dazzling smile, and he's also quite a controversial figure. He's been banned from most restaurants in Chennai, but he's welcome here in Crimson Chakra. So, sir, how does it feel to be on the show? Yes, well, I'm equally excited to have you here. Yes, I am. You know, when you go out for a hot meal, there's no need to leave your puppies out in the cold. Puppies welcome on this patio. Woohoo! So Puffy and I soon turned to the menu to explore our options. My guest, however, was quite easily distracted. Could you look at the appetizers with me? Could you help me out here? We're on a food show. What? What are you looking at? Yeah. Puffy, what are you thinking? I mean, there's a lot of choice on the menu, huh? Do you want a soup? You want to start with a soup? So, one mutton keema soup for Puffy. Now, while Puffy was running amok, it's only because he had special I'm on a TV show rights. Your pets will have to stay on a leash and can't accompany you at the table. Now we're going to get started with the appetizers here at Crimson Chakra. As you can tell, Puffy is not anymore in his seat and has decided to become the center of attention, trying to steal the limelight. Are you trying to steal my show? Are you trying to steal my show? Aw, well, you're so adorable. You're allowed to steal my show. Fine, fine, fine. Okay, so up next, the appetizers, which don't include my face. There are real appetizers at this restaurant. With Crimson Chakra's eclectic ambiance, I assumed the menu would follow suit.
Among the other South Indian restaurants, Crimson Chakra is very unique. You know why? Because along with the traditionality of the South Indian cuisine, we are incorporating the traditional cooking techniques and also importing this homegrown masalas in the curries, in biryani, or that is we call it smoked rice here, and in all the starters. This Crimson Chakra, everything is either grilled or on a tawa or a barbecue or on the live coal, and there are some options which is deep fried also. We are not playing around with the cuisine. No fake cuisine is given. It is that the real taste is being delivered to the public, to our customers.
Now, after enjoying the highly esteemed company of my guest for just about enough time, I decided to head inside for my multitude of appetizers. The Sutta Milagu Koli, Tangy Mean Varaval, the Karvapelle Yera Varaval, the Paneer Varaval, the Kaikari Tawa, and the Sutta Valakai. spices and the marinades that have been used are bold, to say the least. The tamarind and the fish has actually been grilled, it hasn't been fried. So it goes down a lot easier. And the chicken, there are whole peppercorns that have been used in the chicken, as you can see. And just one bite is dynamite. The vegetarian options aren't quite as explosive as the non-vegetarian options. They're more diplomatic, you could say. Milder. Don't stand out as much. Now, while I was inside enjoying my meal, Puffy was on the patio having an equally grand old time. Munching away on the puppy treats provided by the restaurant, being walked by the staff. I think Puffy even found his first true love. And before I knew it, the sweet scent of the main course wafted into the room. Mean mange curry, koli stew with creamy coconut milk and spices, the chettiar mutton curry with pungent chetnut spices, tender mutton that literally fell off the bone, and poppy seeds, the yeromelagu curry with prawns, whole peppercorns and chilies, and the smoked chicken rice. Now, when people have generally talked about the food of Crimson Chakra, they've used words like experimental, innovative, but quite honestly, I haven't found that at all. The food is quite the opposite of experimental. It's very wholesome, very homemade, fresh spices, hand-ground spices, whole spices, peppercorns, green chilies. At least for the non-vegetarian curries, the spices really stand out. Not experimental, but nonetheless, like what Mom would make. Now, while the restaurant doesn't serve alcohol, there are beverages for your every need. The classic thirst quencher, iced tea, to the post-meal digestive, lemongrass mint tea. And speaking of liquids, now while flowing water is always a welcome addition to the atmosphere, in the restaurant it was here simply too loud. Less soothing and more of a hindrance to conversation. But one can choose to sit away from the sound. Well, this rice has a rather interesting taste. It tastes a bit like firewood. It's got a very smoky taste. Reminds me of kurg, if that makes any sense. Reminds me of my uncle burning firewood in the backyard. There seems to be the element of time travel involved at Crimson Chakra, reviving age-old South Indian grilling techniques, as Chef Jacob claims, adding a hint of more modern spice blends, making for cuisine that gets you rather lost in the moment. Not experimental, but not typically traditional either. An average meal for two at Crimson Chakra will cost you approximately 1,000 rupees. Thank you. Okay, I've had Ilanir paisam before, but never tender coconut souffle. It's like pudding textured, but still refreshing, still light and refreshing, but creamy enough to satisfy those die-hard dessert lovers' cravings. Well, more than anything else, I've enjoyed my entire experience at Crimson Chakra. The atmosphere, the company. Now, the menu is flexible enough to appeal to aunties, their children, and their dogs. So come on down for a leisurely afternoon. What are you looking at? Huh? This isn't anything special.